Welcome back to another episode of Eagles Weekly. Here are your hosts, Brett, Haas, Mac, and Jack. How we feeling, fellas?
Welcome back to Eagles Weekly. Man, Jack Berg, I got to fix that intro. We're going to get that intro fixed. But everyone that's joining, we got obviously big news. The talk of the town is Earl Grant. It's national news right now because there's not that many open coaching spots. But I just say to recap right now, I would say obviously the football program's not in a good place. The basketball program's not in a great place, obviously. But I got to give some credit to the administration. We talked about all the things that they do wrong, but they did make the right move that had to be made, which is fire Earl Grant. So we're here to discuss basically who we think they should go after and everything that goes with that. But guys, just chime in right now about your first thoughts when you heard the announcement that they were firing Earl Grant after 5 seasons at Boston College.
It was a long 5 years. I don't know. I was a little surprised, like pleasantly surprised. Like I kind of had an idea in the back of my mind, like, oh, there's no way they're going to eat 3 years of a buyout. But I'm glad they showed some initiative doing that. I tend to look back on the Earl Grant years more fondly than most. I kind of started following the BC basketball scene like right when he got hired. But it was clear, especially after not making the ACC tournament, not the NCAA tournament, the ACC tournament for the second straight year. It's time to move on. But yeah, I mean, can't say enough about him as a man, as a leader. But clearly, just like the X's and O's just weren't there. But so I think it's in the best interest of both parties. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised overall that they were willing to eat that buyout money and show some real initiative in advancing the program at least.
Yeah, I think I tweeted this out a little bit ago, but I just think, Earl left BC and Blake James with no other choice. Missing the ACC tournament back-to-back years when, it shouldn't be that hard to make it is just not a good look. And even if, the team could have improved next year, even if Fred Payne and Bowden Kapke and Luka could have came back and improved and the team could have won more games, it's hard to justify bringing a coach back when you struggled so much for 2 consecutive years and really didn't see much improvement. In fact, you lost more games this year than last year. So, and again, Jack, I'm going to echo what you said. Like, I'm not going to celebrate him leaving, and I really liked Earl as a guy. He was always great to talk to. And there were highs, like there were good moments of the Earl Grant era. It wasn't all terrible. Like a lot of people seem to make it out like it is. I mean, you can go back to beating UVA, storming the court. Like when was the last time BC did that before? I know it was Duke, but I mean, that was a great moment. They beat 3 ranked teams in that 2022-23 season.
That's a great year.
And that wasn't even the best season. The next season they win 20 games and win a NIT game. It was just after that 23-24 season when everyone leaves BC, and you can't talk about the Earl Grant era without talking about NIL, because NIL completely changed everything. If NIL didn't exist, Earl Grant would probably still be Boston College's head coach. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. But with NIL, BC was just the administration and the athletic department just completely unprepared. Everybody leaves the team. They have no money to give to Devin McLaughlin or Jaden Zachary or anybody else they want to keep. And Earl Grant's left with a roster where it's, you're made up of Donald Hand Jr., who was coming off an ACL injury, and Fred Payne, who's also coming off, I think, an ACL injury, and guys who were super unproven. And of course, you're not going to have success with those guys. I mean, I don't think Earl's in-game coaching helped at all. The late game collapses were there with the solid teams and with the not so solid teams, but NIL completely changed the trajectory of this program for basketball, and we've talked about it with football a lot too. But yeah, just these past 2 years, it was kind of indefensible, and I don't think any BC administration did Earl any favors. But I don't think, Earl kind of did enough to justify him coming back. So I think that's kind of where you have to leave it at.
Yeah, Jack, I liked your tweet just earlier today about. I mean, it's not just the coaching hire is going to be how much are they going to commit to NIL. I mean, obviously they made that announcement that they're going to do the max revenue share, which should be like around $5 million for men's basketball. So you're thinking there is maybe, okay, like I don't really know how much they were spending before they made that announcement, like how dramatic of a leap that is. I feel like this coaching hire, we should be able to tell. It should reflect like, how committed they really are to that. And then also like third party money, because, when they go and, depending on who they hire, it depends on like, like you were saying, it's more than just the hire and the coach. It's clearly roster management. It's clearly who they're able to recruit and bring here, which I think, again, flows into who they're going to hire, because maybe like someone like Gallo can bring, his star player here, things like that. So, I mean, I guess we were talking off air before the pod started, like not just sleeper picks, but your guys' top picks here. There's been a lot of names, whether it's, Gallo or the UConn assistant. What are you guys' first thoughts and like kind of like your top, tier people that you're looking at that you'd want to come here to BC?
Yeah, I think mentioning Gallo is like I think he's gonna be the name on the top of a lot of people's lists. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. He's a New England guy. It's clearly a great, X's and O's dude at Merrimack. He's led them to a lot of success. Led them from a D2 team to a D1 team at the top of their conference. So I think he makes a lot of sense. I think he's rightfully so. He's the top of a lot of people's leaderboards. Coming from a mid-major like Merrimack, like obviously he has New England ties, which I guess helps recruiting from New England. But I am curious how bringing in another mid-major guy like Earl was will work out. See if it'll work out differently this time. But I think there's a couple other interesting names that have been thrown around, like Luke Murray, for example, top assistant at UConn. Yeah. He might be a bit of a pie in the sky candidate. He's gonna have a lot of phone calls this cycle, but I think Gallo's probably gonna be Blake's first call, and then I mean he's gonna have no shortage of options or shooters for him. I know Providence is, he's another local program with an opening, so I think Gallo is probably top of my list, and then Luke Murray, of course, would be a home run.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about like guys who have these New England ties, and obviously Earl didn't really have that coming from Charleston, coming off the Clemson coaching tree. But I feel like recruiting was one of the things that wasn't really Earl's problem. I mean, he got a bunch of 3 and 4 star recruits. He had Trey Beamer, like a pretty high 4-star recruit coming in for next season. I mean, he's gone now, but what did he get? I mean, Donald Hand was a 3-star, Prince was a 4-star. We know that didn't work out. He found guys like Glock or even Elijah Strong, who were under the radar guys who played pretty well. And obviously, I said Fred, Jaden Hastings, even guys like Luca, who were able to contribute as pretty like out there recruits. And he was able to get, again, some like 3 to 4-star recruits in there as well. I think it was more so that's kind of the thing where it's like, Gallo could be great, and he could bring some guys over from Merrimack, but I don't know because I don't think the top guys are ever going to come here anyway. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't really matter who the coach is, right? So I think you should more so be prioritizing a coach who has the right system. And, like, I think it's super important. Like, I know Brett actually talked about this in the video he posted last night. BC needs to have an identity. They need to have a style of play. And if you think Gallo has that, because I know he does at Merrimack, then, okay, I think that's a reason to hire him more so than maybe, like, recruiting, because – I don't think recruiting at BC is going to change much, especially if the NIL budget doesn't change, because then that completely limits who you can go after, right?
Yeah, having a team with an identity would be nice and refreshing, wouldn't it? I feel like having. Yeah, I mean, obviously, people that are old enough to remember the glory days when Al Skinner was here, like, obviously, it wasn't the flashiest of systems, but it was a system, right? And I feel like at the end of the day, we're looking for someone that's a proven winner, and like that's what I'm always going to fall to when it comes to this coaching search is who's a proven winner. You guys talk about, the UConn assistant, talk about Gallo. I'm looking at someone that has proven that they've been to the tournament like recently, or they're consistently getting their team to be in that conversation. And like that wasn't the case when they brought in Earl Grant here, and it wasn't the case for a few coaching hires in a row that came to BC. I think this is finally the opportunity to get serious about actually bringing someone in here to actually coach this team that is an X's and O's guy, good system in place, but also has proven that he consistently can win. So I feel like, that's a tall order. We're talking about
there's no perfect candidate, and that guy's not going to just come walking through those doors of Conti. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Guys, we're talking about. I was at the game, the final home season game, a couple days ago, and of course they beat Notre Dame, which is nice. I know a lot of fans. There's we're nervous in a way. I don't know, true fans. I don't think we're rooting against the team or making the ACC tournament, but there was concern there that if they make a run. Is Earl Grant stay at BC? It seems to me now that the writing was already on the wall that Blake had made this decision to fire Earl Grant, but we don't
never know.
But your guys' thoughts on that? Like, just the closing of the season. Obviously it's just pathetic that they didn't make the ACC tournament for the second year in a row, but was that like a concern for you guys in that final game at all? And then, obviously Pitt didn't pull it off or anything.
I feel like we kind of just need to establish this. Anyone who's rooting for BC to lose, I don't think they should be a BC fan. Like that's just unbelievable. I don't care if you want.
It's not like you get the first pick in the draft.
There's no lottery. There's no odds. I don't want. If you're rooting for this team to lose, I don't think you should ever have an opinion about who they should hire as a coach, because it just makes no sense. Was I nervous? Yes and no. Obviously, we wanted them to win, and if they won, sure, they could have made a run. Do I think a run should have determined if Earl came back or not? No, I don't think so, because that's just one ACC tournament out of 3 others and one little tournament out of 5 full seasons. I think, I'm sure, Jack, I don't know what you think about that, but I do think, Earl is 5-3 in ACC tournaments. There's definitely a chance he could have made a run. I think BC would have played Stanford in the first game, and
Stanford, then
NC State, and then Virginia.
Yeah.
Which I think NC State probably would have been the hardest. I
would have talked myself into 2 wins there, I think.
I honestly, if you get by Stanford, and they played Stanford close, and they played Virginia close. So
yeah, they did. I know.
But I guess if BC win, hypothetically, if they win 3 games and they're in the ACC tournament semifinals, can you fire Earl Grant? They probably don't, honestly. Even though I don't think it should necessarily matter that much, I don't think you can, because I don't know if Blake James wants to eat all that money, all that buyout money, and you can say
the first time in the semifinals since 2007 or something.
Exactly, and you can just point to that and be like, oh, we had some bad breaks this season, but when it mattered the most, they won these games. So that's the one thing that kind of is weird about this whole thing. If Syracuse beats Pitt, it's I don't like how that might have been the determining factor, but in the long run, this was probably the best move.
Yeah. I think Blake strikes me obviously as an athletic director, he's going to have a 30,000 foot view of the program.
Yeah.
The way he's talked about in the past, he saw linear growth year 1 to year 3, and then year 4, obviously people left, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think maybe I'm wrong in this, but the way that he talked about the program, he didn't seem it's not like he's going to say this in an interview, but there were 4 or 5 games every year that we should have won that we didn't because of Earl Grant's late game execution. Yeah. But Blake can point to, hey, we won 20 games the first time since 2000 whatever, 18 or 11 or whatever. And I'd be worried about, and I think if we made the semifinals, he points to say, hey, we made the semifinals for the first time since 2007. He put that in his email, a little paragraph blurb.
It's a big hypothetical here, making the semifinals, but just
I know.
Stick with us. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
Maybe not the semifinals, but they made a run. If they
even win a game or
it
two.
was on my mind that Blake would have said, hey, you know what? It's 3 more years on his contract. Let's just give him the 6th one. He's earned it, whether or not that's true or not. But so that was it was on my mind, Mac, to answer your question. If they made the ACC tournament and they won 2 games, maybe Blake keeps them on. But ultimately, I choose to believe that the decision was made, and that is just a matter of when the season ended to make it. But
Yeah.
I mean, based on the way Blake's talked about the program in the past, I don't know if that would have been the case.
I don't know off the top of my head, guys, but do you know how many years he had in his contract and what his buyout was like probably around?
I think it's through the 28-29 season.
Yeah, that's when it was.
Oh, significant buyout. I feel like like kind of what I started at the top of this podcast. Like, Blake heard the noise. He did the right thing. He fired Earl Grant. I feel like that's a good reflection of some of the moves we've been seeing, whether it's the commitment to max revenue share, the firing of the women's head coach, now the firing of the men's head coach.
Women's head coach wasn't fired, I would say
Oh
not,
yeah,
not rehired,
not renewed, which is exactly. But for me, it's like all eyes on Blake James right now. This is his first 2 firing and hiring situations. I feel like this is going to be a massive reflection of again, the commitment to getting these programs out of the basement, and then also hopefully another reflection of NIL and the school committing financial support to these programs. But I don't know, guys. We talked about the top level candidates, the top tiers. Like now let's bring this conversation to reality a little bit as far as like BC and what we think might more. I don't know, probably what we've seen before based on the last couple hires at BC basketball. People that it's not a job that's like super attractive. I mean, people keep talking about the BC basketball head coach job as like a place where you go to die your career. You know what I mean?
It looks like a career killer.
So I feel like a good.
It's kind of sad. Like you see on Twitter, like Jeff Goodman and just other major reporters are just saying, "Oh, this job it won't matter unless they commit financially." Yeah. Oh, it's a struggle to coach here. Like nothing good is being said about.
Did you guys see that tweet from that dude Adam Finkelstein?
Yeah, 3.1 million.
Dude? Yeah, he said like they're still not serious about.
Yeah.
Was that was in reference to like the.
I think he said our budget was 3.1 million
for the roster or for the coaching salary.
I think it was like financially, like our NIL budget was 3.1 million. I don't know where he got that number. I don't know if that's just the normal revenue
that's
share.
The number that would be like 15% of like the
distribution.
20.5. Which
that's the thing though. It's like the hope is that depending on how big that salary is to the head coach, that really shouldn't affect that max revenue share that you're giving to players. Like if it's around the $4.5 million range. Like that should all be going to roster management and getting players here. So it's like
the thing is like, yeah, no, you're totally right. But the thing is like, I know the late game execution like all years and especially this year was like really bad. They blew multiple games this year. They should have won. But how many other coaches like what is Luke Murray doing with the roster this year? Like how many more games are they winning? Not like they're winning more, but they're not winning that. Like the roster simply wasn't that talented. Like, do you guys disagree?
I don't know. I think like there's probably I don't know.
It obviously wasn't an NCAA. It wasn't a March Madness team.
Yeah, no,
not even close.
Like they won like what 11, 20. I think maybe they could have gone like 15 and 16 or something like that.
Better
like,
coaching.
16 and 15 maybe. Like maybe had like an outside shot at like an NIT, but
well, based on like.
Not to say, like 4 wins is not like nothing, but like
no,
that's a good point. Yeah, it's like it's a.
And at some point, it looked like it'd be 0. Like it wasn't looking good to start. Yeah. And then the fact that they got 4 is honestly impressive. Obviously not good enough, but
I think in Brett's video yesterday, he said, "Do you guys agree with him that the roster this year was better than last year?"
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, Kapke was a huge addition. Fred Payne, I think, increased the scoring by about 10 points.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also tweeted this. I mean, Donald Hands, and I hate like just coming after one player, but he was kind of supposed to be the breakout star on this team. He already had broken out last year. He's supposed to take another leap to be the main guy this year. And I don't know what happened, but something happened. And I don't even want to really speculate.
You tell so early in the season that like something was just not
the jump shot just completely.
Yeah, like watching the UConn game preseason.
Yeah,
you saw
what the heck happened?
I hope he figures it out. But.
I don't know, and I just feel terrible. But like that screwed everything up. Like your main scorer is now your third option or fourth option, which is just I think if you do that to any team, they're gonna struggle. Like that could be Duke. They're gonna struggle if that happens.
I will say I think this year's roster was like but it was a clear correction from last year, where like last year we were charting on like 4 guard starting lineups, or Keon Brown was guarding Cooper Flag.
That's crazy.
And like I think he overcorrected a bit and like kind of neglected shooting a bit, because like our only real shooter is like Donald Hand, notwithstanding, he should have been our shooter. Like Caleb Steger, and then you run out like Aiden Shaw and like double big lineups with Kapke and Hastings, which
there was no
was the best option with this roster. But
I think the roster was better, but there was also absolutely no depth. I mean, Marco became unplayable. Jason Asamoah, who I thought played pretty well whenever he was given the opportunity, nowhere to be found at the end of the season.
Yeah, he's totally.
I think someone even said he wasn't on the bench at the end on the Notre Dame game. So this team had zero depth. Caleb Steger, while seems like a nice young player, couldn't hit a shot to end the season.
I know.
And obviously DJ goes out, so there was just really no talent left on the roster. What's up, Brett?
We got Brett in the house.
Yeah.
How we doing, buddy?
I'm good. Give me a sec. I'm just connecting my headphones here.
All good.
No
I was about to kind of move the conversation to kind of the realistic world of who do you guys think are like sleeper picks for BC? Like if BCs aren't unable to attract those top candidates that we talked about, kind of what is your guys kind of under the radar pick for the coaching job? You got any good ones?
I mean, I saw Matt Langle at Colgate, which I'm kind of a Matt Langle fan. I've been a Colgate fan like for a while, kind of my whole life. My dad went there, but that scares me to get another like Ivy League guy. I mean, I think he's a great coach. Colgate has made the tournament multiple times under him, and has almost won a few tournament games under him. Almost beat Tennessee, almost beat Wisconsin. But just a guy from the Patriot League kind of scares me. You know, I'm not going to endorse that, but I wouldn't be mad. But I'm not going to endorse that.
Like proven winner, but like an older guy type of thing. Situation.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit older, and it's the Patriot League. I don't know. That scares me.
Yeah. My sleeper pick was going to be the guy that Gallo's facing the championship tomorrow, which is
Jerry McNamara.
Jerry McNamara from Siena. Won the championship when he was a player at Cuse. They were like 4-28 a couple years ago, and then kind of got to like 500, and then this year they're like a 20-11. So chance to go to the tournament if they win tomorrow. But I found that interesting because like he's obviously from the conference that Gallo's in, is an up and comer, and would be kind of an under the radar cheaper get if I would think if you're going after Gallo, you might as well look at someone like Jerry too. But you know, that was kind of very under the radar person that I was looking at earlier today.
Mine might be a sleeper in that. Oh, Brett, you're on mute. I don't know if you're trying to talk.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, Jack. All I was saying is both of those sound great, and typically they would be good, strong candidates to have. I just feel like with everything that's kind of gone on in the last 15 years, it's hard.
No, I totally agree.
Another like under the radar, up and comer type of guy. But that might be all they can realistically get, you know, because that's the other thing too. I don't know if you guys covered it, but a lot of like the big names out there that are starting to get like linked to this job. It's like, yeah, that's great. That sounds awesome. That would love to have them here. But would they say yes?
Probably not.
So,
yeah, and unless a school is willing to put up a lot of money to get them here and a lot of money to the roster, based on that history, why would they come here?
That's the thing. Yeah. That's like the twofold question of like a lot of money to get them in the door and a lot of money like in the actual team to keep them here. Yeah, for sure.
Like you just paid Earl Grant a lot of money to leave. Now you need to pay a lot of money for a new coach, and then you need to pay a lot of money for a roster that's actually good under this new coach. Those are a lot of things that need to be done that I don't have a lot of confidence in being done because they haven't been done in a long time or ever.
Yeah,
you guys would know better than me, but like in terms of if say you go after like a Joe Gallo, who I'm assuming is under contract with Merrimack, right? Like, do you have to pay his buyout too? Like, how does that typically work?
I don't think so, right? I'm kind of guessing, but
It depends, I think, I think
Does
it
it?
depends. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be another thing that would make you kind of be like, okay, why would BC's never done something like that? I mean, even just like them firing Earl was a big like, oh wow, they did the right thing, you know. So I feel like we're taking baby steps at least, and we're getting, you know, clearly the administration is hearing the, you know, criticisms, and they're making some actions here. But the massive question is, who will they attract here? And then the people that everyone wants to be here that are proven winners that we kind of talked about at the top of the pod, they would need massive financial support to like really want them to come here, I think. So, I mean, that's a massive question. So again, that's why I think that will be reflected in who they bring here, because if they're able to get one of those, you know, top dogs, then that's like, okay, there's a lot of evidence there that they did commit a lot more financial support than they ever have before.
I will say I should have done more research before the pod, but I'm seeing now that Joe Gal did agree to a 10-year contract extension last year.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
I think
Joe
I
Gallo?
think BC would have to
Shoot.
pay the buyout if I'm not.
That's would
I think
they
that's how that would work.
like 9 years?
Through 2034, 35, yeah.
I think that's enough to maybe cross him off the list if that's the case.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's-
I mean, I don't know if they have to pay
thing.
like what portion of the buyout they would have to pay, but that's a significant contract extension, which he clearly earned at Merrimack. But
But yeah, that'd be.
I honestly find that surprising, considering he's
That's
like
nuts.
he strikes me as like he'd want to keep his options open for
Maybe
Either
he just
that
doesn't
or
but-
it could be like if you leave for another job, like you're responsible for like your buyout.
that could be it.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, usually
I
the
have no
buyouts
idea.
for if you get fired. I mean, get fired, but
Yeah. See, I don't know how any of that works. Like we've never really had to deal with that
yeah.
or think about it. I don't know. Like at least not in like recent memory, right? Like Halfley left.
Was Christian at the end of his contract?
No, Christian fired midseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was
Was that the
still
last year, though?
there was because he got an extension after 18.
Okay.
So he had like 2 or 3 years left beyond the 2021 season. Yeah, I don't and same with when Earl came in. I don't know what
I think it was
Excuse me, I
5
don't know what
years, and then he got a 2-year extension through 2029.
who Earl.
Earl,
No,
yeah.
I mean like I don't know what Earl's
Oh
CSC
yeah,
contract
no,
was.
I don't think.
I have
Yeah,
no idea.
they don't release that, so we wouldn't know. That is.
Yeah. So
Brett, I know you put out a video last night. I watched it. We were actually talking about it, but I don't know if you have any. I would love to hear like your expanded thoughts, kind of just on the Earl Grant era as a whole. Obviously, overall, kind of a failure, but I think it's more nuanced than that, and I think you have obviously a pretty good perspective of everything that happened.
yeah, I mean, I after reading your thread, I think we're both lock and step aligned with kind of the thoughts on it, the way it went, things of that nature. Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing was that we were promised this identity, like the gritty not pretty identity, and it just never really came to fruition. Like, so there was no identity for BC men's basketball over the last 5 years. Like, I guess like the first year when they were bad and won a couple games in the tournament, and you know, Earl was like in his stance at Barclays Center and doing that whole thing. Like, that was cool, and that was kind of like his, you know, that was supposed to be like his thing, was tough defensively and, you know, grind out wins, but we never really saw that. I would say like the inept of just like the in-game adjustments that just weren't made, end of games, the way we saw it tenfold this year, but it's not like it was like just a this year thing. Like, it was every year. I go back to 2 years ago when they couldn't even get a shot off against Florida State.
Yeah.
As like that kind of like said the whole thing for me over like what Earl Grant was here. Just unable to like really do it. And like we've talked about it ad nauseum, like that year was like the breakthrough. They talked about a breakthrough. The social media accounts always talked about a breakthrough. They play St. John's and they beat St. John's, and here comes the breakthrough. And it just didn't happen that way. And it never. Earl Grant's teams always started out really slow non-conference, like painfully slow. Like, although we've talked about it, we listed all those losses off, right? And then they get into ACC play and they kind of start to pick it up. They kind of start to find their ground. They play against their competition very well. They play down to their competition. They play up to their competition.
Mm-hmm.
He never really had that kind of like baseline of like, this is how we play. This is how we win. This is how we perform. It was always like, we're down with Maine. We're up against number 6 UVA, right? It's like, we're down against Loyola. We're up against, I don't even remember in 2024, but that's how it always went with those teams. There was never like the consistency of like, this is like a hard team. 5 years later, I still don't know what his offensive philosophies were. Like, I genuinely,
great point.
I don't know. Like, we've watched a lot of BC basketball.
Like, how would you describe their offense to someone who hasn't watched a game?
Correct. Like,
I don't know. I don't think I could.
Can you? Because I can't.
Not really.
A lot of ISO ball. Like, that's the only way I could describe it. Like, a lot of like ISO ball from a lot of people who aren't creators, you know? And it was like poor Jaden Zachary was left to be like a creator in an offense where like that wasn't necessarily like his strength.
Definitely
right?
not.
Like a lot of stuff like that. Like, they had a lot of people that were doing a lot of things that probably wasn't advantageous to them to be like successful. I'd say like Quentin Post was like an outlier, and Quentin Post kind of covered up a lot of however you want to put it. Like, there was a lot that went wrong, or a lot of bad offense that Quentin Post really covered up. I think about it, and same with you, Jack B. Like, when we were at those games in 23 and 24, like, how many buzzer beater first half shots did they hit? They hit like 6 at home, where like they would hit a 3 at the buzzer in the first half. So instead of being down 10, they'd be down 7 or something. Like, I remember like Richmond was one of them. There was a couple other, but like they were never like in control. They never really had like a good footing. Earl Grant as a whole, like, it never came to fruition. And you saw it this year too, especially. Like, he always talked about it. Like, I want shooting, I want athleticism, and I want size. He got the size. I guess he kind of got the athleticism, but like just no shooting at all. Like, they can't shoot the ball. And in college basketball today, like, you have to be able to be a shooting team, you know? And like, if your philosophy is going to be, we're going to shoot it 30 to 40 times a game, well, you're actually shooting it 17 times a game. So that's half. You're making 3 or 4 of them. That's bad, you know? So it was like everything that he wanted to do, or on paper that he said was like good in order to like be successful, and we're turning this around. This is the type of program that we want. And it's like, yeah, that sounds amazing. But then when you actually saw it, you're like, this isn't it at all. The only thing I'm surprised about is that they did nut up and fire him after 5 years. Because I mean, Christian got 6.5. I think Donahue got 7, or not. Donahue probably got less, but Christian got like 6.5 years. And we've seen like with the football programs, like Adazio got 7. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. BC fires their coaches like 2 years after you should. And, you know, granted, like Earl probably should have got fired after last year, and they kept him an extra year. So I guess that's like in line with it. But I don't know about you guys. Like, when you texted the group chat that yesterday, I was shocked.
I think we were all kind of surprised.
I didn't think it was coming through.
Yeah, I don't know. I had it in the back of my mind, like, yeah, they should do it, but like, I was kind of surprised to see some follow through. And I don't know about last year. Like, I was super surprised they fired him last year with 4 years left on his contract.
I don't think that was ever even a consideration. I mean, they were coming off a 20-win season. You're going to fire him after a down year. You can't do that.
Yeah, when your whole starting five leaves.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, when I saw the notification when Jack texted that, I was pleasantly surprised by the balls, to be honest. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come from a Father Jack presidency. But yeah, I don't know.
I just hope they did it with like a plan in place.
Yeah,
instead of just
that's it exactly.
Yeah, like okay,
yes. Like, first we're gonna call Joe Gallo, then we're gonna call Luke Murray. I don't know. Then we're gonna call whoever else.
Jay Larinaga, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't. Good or bad, I don't care. If you have a plan and a list, have at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder when the turning point was when Blake decided this was going to happen. I mean, we already talked about it, but if they had made the ACC tournament, if anything would have changed, probably not. But yeah, I just hope there's a plan, because if there was no plan and you just fired him because the fan base is angry, that's not going to fix anything. We're going to be in the same situation we were in 5 years from now.
So one thing that I will say is, at that scrimmage against UConn, like that tip off.
Yep.
I don't think that like that was the some sort of turning point or revelation or anything like that. But I think, like, for me personally, like being there and seeing the stark differences in both sides.
It was kind of a close game, though.
I thought they played pretty well against UConn.
Yeah.
Close. I mean, dude, it was a close game.
Weren't they up like
they were winning
second half?
Yeah. And then they lost by 20.
I mean, it is UConn, though.
The number 4.
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. Like, that's a barometer. And right there was like, and I get it. It was in Connecticut. So obviously, like, the UConn people were going to travel. But, like, you could see the life in their fan base, in the fans, in the team, like just how much better they were than us, how much it just looked different, right? And like that's when it kind of hit me. It was like, we've gone in two completely separate directions. And I get it,
like a larger picture. Yeah.
And like UConn's coming off 2 national championships. So like, of course it's going to look different. But like, I think for like me seeing that, it's like, it really put into perspective, like we really are like a small fish in a big pond at this point. Like we did not look like an ACC school. And like, to be honest with you, even in our non-conference schedule this year, like we don't play like we're like an Atlantic Coast Conference team. Like, people don't fear coming to Conti Forum, and rightfully so. Like, there's no one there, but it's just interesting because like the infrastructure is there. Like, you're in a Power 5 conference, you have an arena, you have the ability to sell it. You're in a market where, like, if you're good, like, people will show up. Like, objectively, like, I'm not saying that there's going to be 7,000-8,000 strong in Conti Forum on a Wednesday night, but if you're competitive, like, you should be able to put like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people on a weeknight at a game against like a Syracuse, a game against, Pitt. Like, it shouldn't, like, I go to a Pitt game on a Wednesday night in January, whenever it was, and there was like maybe 2,000 people there. Like, that shouldn't be the case. And I get like why it is. But it's just like, when you do think about like this big picture of just like what it can be and what it should be, it's just, it's kind of insane, and it's like, I think we're so like desensitized by the empty Conti Forum pictures. Like, when that tweet was going around the other night, when it was like 5 minutes before tip, and it's like
zero people there. And
the only thing I noticed was the fucking smoke from the fire when they come out of the tunnel to shipping up to Boston. Like that's the only thing that I know. I'm like, oh yeah, like this is clearly when they come running out of the tunnel because you can see the smoke.
Yeah.
But like that's bad, right? Like that can't happen. And I think when you kind of look at it big picture again, it's like, you know, did administration fail Earl? Yeah, kind of. Like they definitely didn't.
Help.
I think that Earl wasn't helped a lot. I don't think he was given adequate resources during his 5-year tenure here. Absolutely not. Like I'm not going to sit here and, you know, act like that wasn't the case. But if you kind of look at his body of work too, like he absolutely did not help himself either, you know, and it's not like the bottom fell out over the last year or the last 2 years and there was this big ramp up. It's like we kind of got that ramp up like when QP came back in year 2, they had that really nice ACC stretch, you know, ended up losing to Georgia Tech at home, lost to UNC in the tournament. And then the next year they came out strong in the non-conference slate. And then they just fell apart in ACC play. And that, you know, there was no injuries. There was no bad it was just that team was as good. That was Earl's best team in the 5 years. And that was like his apex stretch.
It
right?
seems like that was like the ceiling. I don't know if there was a path back there.
We peaked at Providence. I feel like the Providence game.
Yeah. The Providence, and I seen BC Filmer made a nice comment where he said the Providence game was more of like a consolation prize than like a, you know, like that's really how it felt because like, I mean, Jack, when me and you were doing Believe in BC Hoops, like we were talking tournament, like we were checking the net ratings like every week. Like we were in it, like we were thinking like this.
Yeah, and that was one of the
tournament.
Yeah, that was probably the only year they like pulled their weight in the out of conference schedule. Like, they probably should have. I mean, they went 8-3. They probably would have had to go 9-2 or 10-1. Like
they should have went 9-2. They should have beat that Loyola team.
Yeah, they lost Loyola.
That's
lost
fair.
Like Colorado State or something, and then
that Colorado State team was fucking sick.
That dude went off. Isaiah Stewart? No, what was his name? The guy went. One guy went off.
They had those 5 they had their whole starting 5 was transfers, and they were all good. That was a good nice. Colorado State team.
Yeah, and then they just started ACC play with like 2 straight overtime losses to NC brutal. State and then
NC State and Wake Forest.
And that's just like if they start conference play 2-0 and then like they have moment. I don't even know. It's the what if games. It's always the what if game, but
yeah.
But yeah, once they started 2, it was just always like an uphill battle. They were never going to win, and I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Jax, like you said, like there were highs. There was the UVA game. There were highs. Yeah, I mean, game. There were. Just, like, those are our highs. Like those are blips on the radar for competent schools. But
right, and like that.
I want to get your everyone your kind of thoughts on like what you think is the most realistic outcome, because you talked about like an empty Conte. Like I'm coming from the perspective of I'm hoping this firing was because the administration themselves looked at an empty Conte and said, this is a business decision. Like we're losing money.
Yeah.
And unless we invest in this, we need to, until we invest in this, we're not going to make money. We're not going to get people into this, into Conte. So I feel like, I hope that's the decision maker, because like, then that gives more fuel to, okay, we have to invest. We have to get a legitimate hire, and we need to give all this financial support to them. Do you guys think like what is more realistic, that is true what I'm saying, and they actually do make a big move, or they can kind of continue this under the radar hire someone from like a mid-major? Like what is your guys' feeling on this? Because I have some hope there, but again, this is based off of a few actions that I don't have real evidence for. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've only ever seen an empty Conte, so I don't like Brett and Mac. I know you guys have been following way longer than me. Is this even possible to get back to I don't even like, to me it's not even possible.
It is, and I think to Mac's point, right? If they make another under the radar, up and coming, whatever. Like, I'll be honest, dude. Like, I mean, when Earl Grant was hired, I was a fan. I was not in the media. I had no idea who Earl Grant was. Like, I think the first time I realized that they got a new basketball coach, well, I knew that they fired Jim Christian, obviously, but like, I got like followed from a burner account that was like Earl Grant's like free nacho or whatever the fuck it was. But I was like, oh shit, dude, like this guy's our basketball coach, right? Like, I had no idea who Earl Grant was. I didn't have an opinion on him, good or bad. I had no idea. Like, I didn't know anything.
What was like what was the reaction though? Do you remember the reaction of the public when he was hired? Or
I think it was underwhelming, but it was one of those things where it was like, he's our coach, so like let's do this. Let's rally behind him. Like
oh
yeah, because I think it was like kind of like the Halfley thing, right? Like when Halfley got hired, it was the get in. So everyone started doing the get in thing. And I think it was the same with Earl. Like Earl dropped the gritty not pretty at his introductory press conference,
and it was like once Earl gets his guys, right? Like that was the thing.
And like and you know, whatever the case may be, but like if they do that again, like it's kind of like shit. And let me be honest, dude, like I would not put it past them to do something like that again, where it's like this like under the radar, like 12th hour, they start floating some random name from you know, whatever conference, and we're like, the fuck is that? Who is that? You know? And all of a sudden he's the head coach, right? And it's like that very well could happen, but if it does, shame on them, right? Because it's like we've seen it now 3 times. You know, when Donahue was hired, Donahue was coming off like a killer Sweet 16 run with Cornell, and it was like, hell yeah, like this is gonna work out great. Did not work out great. Next thing you know, they bring in Jim Christian from Ohio, and it was like, okay, he's turning things around. Like, he's making this serious. Like, this is going to be great. He's from the MAC, but he's hungry. 0-18 later, it's like, maybe this isn't the guy either. You know, and then Earl comes, and that first year with Earl, like I said, he's in his stance. He's down low. I'm like, this is awesome. We have QP. Everyone's calling him the Dutch oven. He got the mask the next year. You know, we had both of the Langford brothers. Like, that was cool. But like that didn't go well either. Like, we saw the last couple of years, like that just hasn't, like there's no sustainable success here. It was like everything hinged on the QP. Everything hinged on, like, you know, like Jack just said, like if this goes right, if that goes, if we win this game, you know, shocker.
I feel like you never knew what you were going to get any game. Like, it was like, what type of game is this going to be? You had no idea.
Dude, I thought they were going to lose to Notre Dame by 50 because I was like, that's just what's going to fucking happen. Like, they're going to get their doors blown off, season over, like, good night. And then when they're like, I'm like, they're going to fucking win this. It's like, you know, at that point, I'm like, I kind of hope I was like pretty honest about it. Like, I don't want them to win this game. You know, I'm never going to root against them. But like, if we're being honest, like I'd prefer they didn't and just didn't make the tournament and like gave us more reason not to. But you're right. Like you never knew, like anytime they won a game, you're just like, where did that come from? And then when you start kind of feeling good about them, like a little bit, you're like, oh, they're going to go on this little run. And then they lose by 40 to, I don't know,
SMU,
NC State. Or something, or SMU, yeah. It's just like, okay, like there we go. That makes sense.
I had a rant earlier in the pod before you joined about how no one can root for BC to lose, or else you're like you shouldn't like have an opinion. But I know that's not what you fully meant.
Yeah, no, it's you know, it's like I expect I root for them to win, but I expect them to lose, and it's you know, with the circumstances, I'm like it wouldn't be the worst thing.
I mean, I guess the one positive you could say from that is they get a head start on the coaching search. I mean, if they use that to their advantage, I don't know if
which is something that like they would never have done. Like, so a credit to them.
I mean, is he the only coach who's been
doing that?
He's like one of the only coaches who's been fired, right? Like, there's been
from like a power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even fired. He was just like notified.
Yeah, Kim has been fired. I think Bobby Hurley hasn't officially been fired yet. So
Where's Bobby Hurley, and why do fucking people keep talking about
he's
him
at
coming
well, he's
here?
he's at Arizona State, but he's going to be fired.
He's still at Arizona State.
Yeah.
And people are like, bring Bobby Hurley here. Like I saw someone say something about that guy Crean too. Like, what are we doing?
Tom Crean. Yeah,
Georgia coach?
Yeah.
He was Georgia and then Indiana.
He was Georgia, yeah. Georgia, Indiana,
Indiana, then Georgia. Yeah, one of
Yeah,
them.
he had Anthony Edwards and like didn't do shit with Anthony Edwards. Like I don't know. Like
yeah, but and he also hasn't coached in 4 years.
No, he hasn't coached in a while.
I feel
He's
like
an older guy.
Between
he hasn't coached in the NIL era, so like I don't think we need a guy like that.
I think there's like a clear divide though between the top tier people that we like hope they go after and like all these kind of like under the radar mid-major people that kind of about. And it's like, you know, I feel like people are expecting like the below the line, but like, you know, we have a lot of hope for the above the line right now, but you know,
I mean, there was like I don't remember the guy's name, but he was like the Michigan coach forever. And this was when Jim Christian got fired.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about? And everyone was saying like, "Oh yeah."
He went to the Cavs for a year and they got fired.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, he's gonna." He was on campus a couple weeks ago. Pat Kraft really likes him. He's bringing him here, and it was like, "No, the fuck, he's not, dude. Like, he's not coming here." And then, of course, like he didn't come here, right?
John Balin.
Like, yes. It's like, but and that's how these coaches searches go. It's like people are like floating Kim English, like, oh, maybe we'll just bring Kim English here. I'm like, you know, that sounds cool, but do you guys not understand that like Kim English had the same exact issues that you had with Earl Grant?
I think it
was his in-game coaching.
Jack, what do you think? I know you follow them closely. I think it was worse.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was on a much bigger
and he had a better roster and sucked just as bad, but
much bigger scale for sure. That made his blunders way worse.
We beat them,
but
we did beat them. Yeah.
Dude, his in-game coaching was just as bad as Earl.
They blew as just as many leads as us. Yeah,
dude, and like so.
And he's had a ton of talent, Kim English, and
he gets five stars.
Yeah. With no tournament experience to show for, that's not a move I want to.
And he was another guy who came from George Mason, and like I don't think he had ever he might have made the tournament at George Mason, but I don't think his records were all that good. I don't know.
He's because I think I looked. We beat George Mason. I forgot about that.
For that, I think I do remember looking at Kim English's because I didn't realize that he was only the head coach at George Mason for like 2 years. Yeah, like 2 or 3 years too.
No, they didn't make the tournament. He was 34-29.
But like, yeah, we need like realistic coaching options, and like, no, the Jared Dudley thing is just so beyond us. Like, we're not.
If I was saying earlier, it's funny because like I feel like 2 years ago people were like, "Oh, bring in Jared Dudley," and now it's like, "Oh no, like stay away from Jared Dudley." Which is like I feel like Jared Dudley's probably.
Dan O'Connor with Dudley or bust. Yeah, all right.
I think I mean it certainly brings excitement around the program for 4 weeks before the season started. But like he's never been
but that's like a Jawan Howard type of thing, right? Yeah. Like it's like, oh, he's a legend, he's coming here, he's doing this, and then 3 years later he's flipping out at the podium and getting fired. And it's like, well, that didn't go so well, huh?
Plus
like Patrick Ewing.
Brett, I feel like we're the only ones that even remember him playing, and like if you're recruiting 19-year-olds, they don't even know who he is. They don't even know who Jared is.
It's a different school. It's a different college basketball world. Like it's just the whole thing is different.
I just think you need a guy who's currently coaching in college. Like he's in the NBA. Let's stay away from NBA guys.
I'm with you. Like let's get a call. Let's get an actual fucking college coach.
Yeah, who knows how to deal with the
I would love I want a guy who just like knows like offense, like just someone that can run an offense and run plays and have an offensive identity,
has set plays,
and can bring in guys who fit that offense.
That's it.
Has an identity, a structure.
Yeah. Instead of like bringing in whoever will actually say yes to you and then trying to like fit your philosophy around them, you know. Like I said, like the QP thing, like I sometimes I think about QP, dude. Like I lay back, I think, and I'm like, what a blessing that was.
QP.
Like what a absolute blessing that was for all of us to be able to sit back and watch that guy play basketball for a good 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. But like that sucks at the same time that
we didn't make the tournament with him. It was nuts.
Yeah.
And dude, he was like a top 20 player in the country that year.
He went 52nd in the draft. After
maybe.
like as a senior.
Probably not. I mean, he was second team All ACC. He was still really good.
Right. I think back to that year before he got drafted, where beginning of the season, Michael Prey would send out the media notes, and he'd say, Quentin Post is one of 2 players in the country to have this many points, this many rebounds, this many blocks. And every game they got that stat line got like more and more obscure to where it was like Quentin Post is one of 4 players averaging 15.5 points on 48% true shooting or something like that. But that's not definitely from QP at all. But
remember in those notes too, what was the Jay-Z one?
It was like steals, something with steals.
But no, remember how they had the little taglines before it would say all the stats? Like it was like a rapper Jay-Z quote.
Mm.
Oh,
it was one of his lyrics, and it was like then it would have all of Jay-Z stats on it.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah,
Michael Prey was fucking awesome.
It's funny now. I would read the notes sometimes this year. There was like nothing because no one had anything really to show for it.
I mean, Mike is no longer here.
I used to love taking little nuggets and throwing them up.
Yeah, no, I would do that too, just on Twitter. Yeah,
they were great. Like you could take like little tidbits, throw some stats up. I used to do it for football too, but the basketball ones were fun. You could just get little things because you'd have Jay-Z to talk about, you'd have Quentin Post to talk about, Glock to talk about, Claudell a little bit, and then Mason. Mason, you could discuss. Which, by the way, Mason's in Sweden now. Mason's doing well.
Hell,
he started his own weird sock brand. You guys see that?
I did.
I did.
Yeah. I'm about to hit him up and be like, dude, let me get some socks. let the fellas let the fellas get some socks.
Promote the socks.
You have those socks, but I don't know they're for me.
When do you get that
socks? Let the fellas get some socks, dude. Well, we're always looking for new sponsors, dude. Bigelow Tea's not coming through anymore, so we do need new sponsorship.
Yo, I was gonna wrap the pod up with some football talk because spring ball's around the corner.
Hell yeah, ready?
How many left?
Real quick, Mac, are they doing an actual game this year?
Good question.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
They didn't last year. So they probably aren't doing.
Well, the reason I ask is because there's only one portal window now, correct? Like they don't have.
It was over.
So like that was the biggest thing for them to stop the spring game was the fact that like you could poach players in the spring if say like Lewis Bond, put out some good tape in a spring ball game, all of a sudden another school could go after him. But I don't think you can anymore. So that's why I was curious if they were going to bring the spring ball.
I just remember last year, Bill's big concern was that it just looked so bad with like alumni empty on ACC network. Like that was his big thing. So like,
true, I guess
you rather have like a profile type thing in the fish house, That was.
I mean, just find, you can ask tomorrow, right, and find out.
Yeah. But any last rants on basketball before we kind of move to spring ball here, folks?
I said my piece.
Yeah, I think we've covered it pretty well.
You guys think we have one before a new coach before April?
Yeah.
10th.
What do you think? I don't know what the timeline is on this. Like, how long does
it hired in March? I think.
I feel like they're gonna take their time. No.
Yeah, but at the same time,
you kind of got to get your guy.
I think you got to get a guy. You need to get a guy before the Final Four. Like when's the Final Four?
Yeah. Like when's the Final Four?
Like April.
First week of April.
Early April. Yeah. Early April.
So I'd say before the Final Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're not going to get any of those coaches or their assistants. So
word.
I'm just saying, like as a benchmark, I think you probably have to get your guy before the tournament ends.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think back to last year. I think like I've heard of like there was a formal announcement about Will Wade going to NC State, but
Oh yeah, I
know
think it was like known beforehand.
it was a known thing, but I don't know if there
Yeah.
was like pen to paper at all.
When's the portal like for basketball? Do they only have one window too? Like,
I think
They
so.
must.
I think so.
They must.
yeah, because whenever I would assume like a lot of movement's going to happen post March. So yeah, I would agree. They need to get someone in there, but I also want them. Do you guys think they're going to getting like a third party to come in here and help with the hiring? Because they
I
got
fucking
women,
hope not.
they got women's and men's, and this
I
is
don't I don't think they've ever done that. They can. I think they can.
They've
just do
done
that
it.
alone.
They've done it for.
Did
They
they?
did it. What they
I
do?
think they did
Was it
football, right, Brett?
with Adazio? They did it.
Yeah.
Oh
Maybe half. I don't.
yeah, I really don't
That
know.
was pre Blake though. That was pre Blake, I think. Yeah.
They could. I hope not.
So football, I'm going to tomorrow's press conference. That'll be Bill's first spring ball press conference tomorrow. So spring ball starts. It's going to be like every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I believe, for the next month.
Nice.
So I'll be covering that. So I'll have more updates like probably Monday if we record next Monday for everyone listening. This will be quick. We're going into this with like 50 plus new players, basically more than half the roster flipped for football guys. Obviously, there's the new revenue share, max revenue share that they're committing to this roster now. But of course, there's so many questions at quarterback positions, everything. So that's what I'm going to be looking at and reporting this week. I would say, what are your guys' thoughts going into spring ball and kind of questions that you would have for me too to ask Bill tomorrow at the presser? Just like, yeah, your guys' thoughts on football. I know we're like so far away from the season, but you know, it's spring ball is starting up basically tomorrow.
I don't have any like necessarily questions that I would ask Bill, at least not off the top of my head. I think my biggest thing is like the quarterback situation.
For sure.
Like I don't know, like
Yeah, do we have
how's
a
it
QB1?
look?
Like is
Yeah,
that 50?
yeah.
I guess
We
that's
how's that look?
had Trinidad Shambles back there with Mason McKenzie. Didn't someone say that?
Someone said
Yeah,
that.
it was me.
QB1 is the question. It's crazy that we've gone like what 5 seasons in a row, basically with a question mark at quarterback, and we're still figuring this out.
Probably more than that too. I do know what you're saying, but probably
Yeah. And then also, like, I know Bill's kind of said that he's running the offense. They haven't made any announcement.
Yeah,
as far
that's definitely a
as
question.
coordinator.
Oh God, yeah, that's right.
And nothing on
Who's
that.
the
Like,
offensive coordinator?
is he really just executing that all? Like, even if you're calling the plays, don't you want someone to help execute that? Like, there's been no announcement on the offensive.
No, that's kind of crazy. Maybe they'll do one tomorrow if you did.
Yeah,
like,
so I'm definitely going to ask about that. But it seems.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just so many
please.
questions, and I'll try to get some footage on the quarterbacks guys tomorrow. But I don't know. It's just it's all question marks, and really we'll have to wait till the fall to really have any answers. But you know,
I
I'll try
mean,
to
with the, I mean, additionally with like the amount of new players in, it's like you can just roll your camera and you're gonna get a lot of new footage from
All
a
new
lot of
people.
new play, you know. So it's like, I kind of forget who like our additions are at this point. It's been a bit, right? Like I don't even remember.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow when Mac shows us.
Yeah.
I'll tweet some
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, it's over 30 new guys from the portal, and then it's like about over 20 guys that
Jeez,
they also recruited.
that's crazy.
So it's 50 plus players, and like it's basically like a full roster turnover. So
Mhm.
I mean, the entire history of BC football, it's never been the case. So we're in totally new territory here, and we'll see if Bill can coach these guys up. He's got the spring, the summer, and I'll be reporting on that. So,
Nice.
I'm interested in that Georgia linebacker.
dude, the lines are going to be better, I think. But again, I'll have to see in real life. But I think defensive line looks a lot bigger. They got size in the portal.
They
I
got
think,
a lot of size, yeah.
like you said, obviously protecting the quarterback is going to be a big deal. But like the question mark still, who the hell's quarterback? How does he look? And Is there a competition there, or is it Mason? Like, what? I don't know, man. I have no idea, to be honest.
Or is it what's the other kid's name? The kid from Arkansas.
Grayson Wilson.
You got Grayson Wilson, and then you also got
Grayson Wilson.
Babalola, the freshman coming in. I doubt he would be
No way.
playing or competing, but my guy Shaker's gone. Everyone's gone. Crazy. We had it's so funny how the conversation going into spring ball last year was how stacked for the first time was, and all three guys are gone.
We're gonna have no one we recognize on football and no one on basketball. We're gonna know next year. It's gonna be a whole
fresh slate.
new campus.
Fresh slate for sure.
Hey, Birdball beat Miami down in Oregon.
Yeah, dude, what a series.
2 out of 3, right?
Yeah,
Series.
that's big news.
What's going on with hockey, guys? I know you mentioned earlier.
Hockey, women's lacrosse. It's not
They
a bad stretch here, guys.
Like the two programs that are supposed to be our
staples.
Yeah.
Hockey lost 4 in a row.
That's insane.
They lost
What's going on with Greg Brown? Is that an issue?
I don't know. Our comrade Mike DeMauro was questioning that, and he got into a little bit of a kerfuffle.
I saw that with Dan. Yeah.
Show me your degree.
I just checked. We're down to 18 in the NPI, which is outside looking in. It's not good.
Outside. Yikes.
Yeah.
We can just forget this year happened in BC athletics and just move on to next year.
Mentally,
if we're gonna do that, we might as well delete the last 5 years.
Start of the year, we're already like.
I might roll as a freshman again. I might just start over with them.
Bro, me too, dude. I'm about to hop in there as a grad student. Why not?
All right.
Oh,
Unbelievable. Man. Anything else? This was
last thoughts, guys. This was pretty comprehensive here, I feel like.
Agree. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more update. I'm sure we'll, if there's a new hire.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely can report in the next coming weeks, like obviously the coaching search and then spring ball updates. Again, you know how up I was on the team last spring ball, so don't trust anything I say. But I will try to be as objective as I can,
Same. I also said basketball was going to win 17 games to make the NIT this year. So
I was low in
predictions were so bad.
I think I said I don't know what I said. I don't remember. 14 wins, I think.
Did we all say winning season?
I think I said 16 or 17 wins. Probably 17.
Yeah.
I said 17 because I remember saying it.
I'd rather bake in the Central Connecticut loss. That's what got me.
Listen, dude, that game, couple possessions away from being a win. It happens sometimes.
I mean, listen, I think they were up 6 with 20 seconds left against FAU first game and lost.
They were.
You should have known.
They were.
Bad precedent for the rest.
Most people probably didn't know.
Couple bounces one way or the other. That's
a
basketball.
Turnover.
That's basketball. That's Earl Grant basketball.
Dude, double-digit lead, 50-50, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
That's all I got.
Good stuff. Follow us on Eagles Daily, on X, on Instagram, on all the social.
On what?
Yeah.
On what?
X. Brad,
what's X?
You saying X now, or you still saying Twitter?
Twitter.
Okay.
I'm an adult.
Twitter. Eaglesweekly.com. Go subscribe to our YouTube too, guys. All right. We're out. Go Eagles.
See you.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.